Hello, and welcome back. Variables versus constants. We will go over the differences between the way we store our values in memory for our application to access later. To begin our discussion on variables versus constants, let's first create a new playground. I already have my playground open, but you can do so by opening up Xcode, then going to File, New, selecting Playground. And then it will give you an option for blank, game, map, or single view. Let's go ahead and create a blank sheet. I'm going to cancel because I already have one open. And it will give us the default playground. Right now we are importing UIKit, and then we are creating a variable called str, and we are setting it equal to hello playground. So we have variables and we have constants. Variables are represented by var, which is this var, and constants are represented by let. So we can create another variable that's a constant called let str1 and set that equal to hello world. So the differences between these two variables, one is a constant, and that constant is represented by let. So if we try to change the value of our variable or our var, so if we say str equals hello world, and then we print str, we can see down in our console that it says hello world. But if we try to do that same thing to our str1, say str1 equals goodbye world, we will get an error. It says cannot assign to value str1 is a let constant. Let's go ahead and delete this line of str equals goodbye world. As of right now, we've been working with stored properties. So we're taking a property of, say, str or str1 and assigning that a value. There's also something called computer properties. And computer properties allow us to execute code in order to get a value or set a value. So in order to demonstrate this, I'm going to create our own type called length, and it's going to be a struct. And don't worry about this too much, we will discuss structs and classes in a later video. But for now, just follow along. So we will create a property called inches, and it's going to be of type double. Notice we made this a var. This is so that this value can be changed. We create another var of feet, and that's also going to be a double. But this is going to be a computer property. So we are going to start with an opening brace and end with a closing brace. And then we are going to implement a get method. And this is just saying that anytime we access this property, and we need the value of this property, we're going to run whatever is inside of this get opening brace and closing brace. So in this case, we want to return inches divided by 12. So this will give us however many feet there are based off of the inches. Because when we convert inches to feet, we have to divide inches by 12. So if we have 12 inches and we divide that by 12, we get 1 foot. So when we access this feet property, we will get the value of 1 back. So next we want to also implement a set method. So the set method is an optional part of a computer property, but this gets called whenever we change the value of feet. So if we were to change the value of feet to 2, we could say that we want to now update our inches property with the new value, which is given to us by default as the set value. So whenever we set feet to say 2, our new value gets past this number of 2, and we get access to be able to use that. And we can say new value times 12. So now inches will get updated to 24. To demonstrate how to run this, we can go down to the bottom of our code, and we say var length equals length. And it takes in a property of inches because it has a member-wise initializer, which is already given to us because it's a struct. And then we can print out length dot inches. So this is the inches property on the length variable that we just created. And we can also print the feet property. So we get 12 inches and we get 1 foot. So now if we change the length of feet to 2, and we print out the length dot inches, we will get the value of 24, as we can see right down here. And this is because of that computer property. Whenever we set the value, we are updating that inches property, and whenever we get the value of feet, we are getting inches divided by 12. Now let's look at a couple more things with computer properties. Computer properties must be a var. If we change this to a let, we will get an error message from the compiler telling us that let declarations cannot be computer properties. That's because the value has to be changed in order to be computed. So we can change that back to a var. Now there's also something else that we need to go over at a later time, but with our struct, we have to make these properties inside of our struct vars, so this inches, and that's because inches is being updated, and that's normal. But down here, when we do var length, if this were a class, we could go ahead and do let length, and we would not get a compiler error, but with a struct we do, because a struct we are getting a copy of this value, and this value is being mutated as a copy instead of mutating the address in memory. Don't focus on that too much right now. We will go over this in more detail in our struct versus classes video, but it's just something to keep in mind. Thanks for watching. In our next video, we will go over the differences between explicit versus inferred types.